The morning light of Luminara filtered through the Crystal Palace walls, creating rainbows across the floor. Queen Zara moved through her royal chambers, her blue glow dimmed to match the calm of dawn. Lily, the human diplomat from Earth, sat by the window drinking a warm beverage from her home planet called coffee. It had been 30 days since the defeat of the Dravak ships, 30 days since Zara had asked Lily to stay as her advisor. The palace staff still watched the human with curious eyes. The Luminari had never seen their queen so at ease with anyone. "Your council seems unhappy with me," Lily said, blowing steam from her cup. Zara turned her tall, elegant form, casting gentle light across the room. "The council is set in old ways. They fear change. They fear you." Lily smiled. "That makes sense. I represent everything different. Today we meet with the Agricultural Committee," Zara said, changing subjects. "The farms in the southern region report soil degradation. Our food production decreases each cycle." Lily set down her cup, thoughtful. "This happens on Earth too, when we take from the land without giving back. Perhaps I could show your farmers some Earth techniques." The Queen's bioluminescence brightened with interest. "Always solutions, never complaints. This is why I value you, Lily." Together they walked through the palace halls, Luminari citizens bowing deeply as their queen passed. Many still could not look directly at Zara, a tradition of respect that had evolved into fear. Lily noticed how the queen stood straighter, more distant in public, so different from their private conversations. The agricultural meeting lasted hours. Lily showed pictures of Earth farming methods, explaining crop rotation, composting, and natural pest control. The Luminari scientists listened with growing excitement. "Why did we not think of this, Elder Vox?" the head scientist asked, his pale glow pulsing with shame. Lily shook her head gently. "Different eyes see different solutions. That's why connection between species matters so much." After the meeting, as they walked through the royal gardens, Zara spoke softly. "The elders whisper that I grow too fond of you and your human ways. Are they right?" Lily asked, watching a flying creature that resembled a butterfly, but glowed like the Luminari. Perhaps, Zara admitted, the queen has always stood alone above all others. But this tradition began when our population was vast, when hundreds sought the queen's favor. Now we decline. Our numbers shrink each cycle, and still, we cling to isolation. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Nyx, the queen's most trusted advisor. "Your Majesty." She bowed deeply. "A transmission from the human fleet captain. They request permission to land more ships." Lily looked surprised. "I was not informed of this. They wish to establish a permanent outpost." The advisor continued. "They say the treaty permits this." Zara looked at Lily, her glow shifting to a deeper blue, signaling concern. "Is this true?" Lily frowned. "The treaty allows for scientific and cultural exchange, but a permanent military presence would require additional agreements." Zara dismissed the advisor, then turned to Lily. "I trusted you." Lily touched Zara's arm gently. "And you still can. Let me speak with my captain." There must be a misunderstanding. That evening, Lily communicated with Captain Diane Rogers of the human fleet via secure channel. The captain's image flickered on the screen, her expression stern. "You misrepresented our intentions." "Lily," she said, "we need this outpost. The resources on Luminara are too valuable." Lily felt anger rise in her chest. "We agreed to fair exchange, Captain, not colonization." The woman on screen leaned forward. "These aliens are dying out, Lily. Their population has decreased 60% in a century. Their technology is impressive, but they waste it staying isolated. The higher-ups think we should establish presence now, before someone else does." Lily shook her head firmly. "No, we don't betray allies. The Luminari saved our exploration fleet when we first entered this sector, or have you forgotten? And they fought alongside us against the Dravak. I will not support any action that violates our agreement with Queen Zara." The captain sighed. "Remember where your loyalty belongs." "Lily, my loyalty is to what humans claim to stand for," Lily replied. Connection, respect, community, not exploitation. When the transmission ended, Lily turned to find Zara standing in the doorway of the communication room. The Queen's glow was dim, almost gray. Heard, Lily said, "Everything." Zara nodded. "I will leave if you wish." Lily offered her heart heavy. "I understand if you can no longer trust humans." Zara moved closer, her tall form towering over the human. "I heard you defend my people at risk to your position. I heard you honor our agreement when your captain did not. I trust you more now, not less." Relief washed over Lily. "I will make this right." The next day, Lily addressed the full Luminary Council and the human diplomatic team. She proposed a new treaty, one that would benefit both species while protecting Luminary sovereignty. "What the humans need most is knowledge of your crystal technology," she explained. "What the Luminary need is help restoring your environment and population growth. Both can happen without exploitation." The debate lasted days. Luminary elders arguing against closer ties with humans, human diplomats pushing for more access to resources. Captain Rogers glared at Lily throughout but said nothing. On the final day of negotiations, Queen Zara entered the chamber, her glow brighter than anyone had seen in years. "My people have lived in isolation too long," she announced. "We feared connection because connection means vulnerability. But what has our fear brought us? Decline. Stagnation. I have learned from Lily that true strength comes from building bridges, not walls." She turned to the human delegation. "But trust must be earned. Humans must prove they seek alliance, not dominance." The new treaty was signed that evening. It would allow for knowledge exchange, environmental restoration, and cultural sharing, but limited military presence and resource extraction, as celebrations began throughout the capital city. Lily stood with Zara on the palace balcony, watching fireworks light the night sky. "Do you think it will work?" Zara asked. Lily nodded. "I do. Both our species need this. And now others will see what can happen when different worlds truly work together." Below them, humans and Luminari mingled, their forms so different yet finding common ground. The Queen who once stood alone now stood with a friend from the stars, and neither world would ever be the same. 3 months passed since the new treaty was signed. The capital city of Luminara buzzed with activity as humans and Luminari worked together. Human scientists marveled at the crystal technology that powered Luminari society. Luminari farmers implemented Earth techniques, watching their crops flourish for the first time in generations. Queen Zara walked through the central market with Lily at her side. The Queen's guards kept a respectful distance but remained vigilant. The market had once been a quiet place. Now it teemed with life. Humans haggled with Luminari merchants. Children of both species played together. Their laughter echoed through the crystal stalls. "You have changed our world," Zara said, watching a Luminary child show a human child how to make their hands glow with special paint. "We changed it together," Lily corrected, smiling at the scene. A group of elders approached, bowing deeply to their queen. Elder Vox, the agricultural scientist, spoke first. "My queen, the Southern Farms report 30% increase in yield. The humans teach us to nurture the soil, not just take from it." Zara nodded, pleased. But her pleasure faded when she saw Elder Krell, the oldest council member, approaching. His glow was dim with disapproval. "You walk among commoners like one of them," he said to Zara, his voice low. "The old queen would never times change, Krell." Zara interrupted, her glow brightening with authority. "I am not the old queen." The elder bowed stiffly and retreated. Lily watched him go, concern in her eyes. "Not everyone welcomes change," she said quietly. Zara sighed. "Some elders believe I weaken our traditions by embracing humans, but they cannot argue with results. Our farms grow stronger. Our crystal technology advances with human engineering. Insights, our people smile again." Their conversation was interrupted by Nyx hurrying through the crowd. "Your Majesty," she said breathlessly, "a Dravak scout ship has been detected near our outer moon." Zara's glow pulsed with alarm. "Return to the palace at once." In the secure command center, Luminary officers and human military advisors gathered around holographic displays. Captain Diane Rogers, Now the official human military liaison stood with arms crossed, studying the projection. Just one scout ship, she confirmed. But where there's one, there will be more. Zara finished. The Dravak, never forget a defeat. They will return stronger. Lily studied the star charts. Our fleet has grown since the last attack. We have 5 ships in orbit now. Not enough. If the Dravak bring their full force, Elder Krell said, entering the command center uninvited. They nearly destroyed us last time. Only luck saved us. Lily frowned. It wasn't luck. It was cooperation. The Queen raised her hand, silencing the room. We must prepare. What do the Dravak want? Resources? Captain Rogers said simply. Same as everyone. Your crystal mountains contain rare elements found on few worlds, and our population is vulnerable. Elder Krell added, we make an easy target. Zara looked at Lily. Would your government send more ships? Captain Rogers answered instead. They might for the right incentives, mining rights, access to luminary crystal technology. Elder Krell glowed brighter with anger. So humans are no different from Dravak. They protect. Only to take enough, Zara commanded. The treaty stands. We need solutions, not accusations. For days the palace buzzed with activity. Plans were made, defenses strengthened. Zara spent long hours in council meetings, listening to arguments between those who trusted humans and those who did not. Late one night, Lily found the Queen alone in the Royal Observatory. The great telescope pointed toward the stars. Zara's glow was dim with exhaustion. You should rest, Lily said softly. How can I? Zara replied. The Dravak scout has disappeared, but they will return. And my council fractures. Elder Krell leads those who wish to end the human alliance. They say you will betray us, that all aliens are the same. Lily stood beside her friend, looking up at the stars. Do you believe that? Zara turned her luminescent eyes, focusing on the human. I believe you are different. But what of your leaders? What of Captain Rogers and those above her? Lily sighed. Some humans want what is easy. Take resources, move on, but others see farther. They understand that alliance, true partnership, brings more than just immediate gain. The telescope suddenly beeped an alert. Zara moved quickly, checking the readings. Her glow pulsed with alarm. 3 large ships just entered our system, not Dravak. Something else? Lily looked at the readings. These energy signatures, I know them. These are Vorn ships. The Vorn. Zara had heard stories of this mysterious species known for their advanced technology and unpredictable nature. They rarely engaged, with other species preferring to observe from afar. Why would they come here? Zara wondered. Before Lily could answer, the communication system chimed. A message from the lead Vorn ship requested audience with both the Luminary Queen and the human representative in the Grand Throne Room. Zara sat with formal dignity. Lily stood at her right hand. Captain Rogers and Elder Krell both insisted on being present as well. The massive doors opened, and 3 Vorn entered. They moved with fluid grace, their bodies covered in what looked like shifting metal. Their faces had no features except for large, multifaceted eyes that reflected the light from Zara's glow. The lead Vorn spoke, its voice melodic. We have watched your worlds form alliance. This is unusual in our experience. Seek mutual benefit, Zara replied carefully. The Vorn tilted its head. We have also observed the Dravak. They gather a fleet. Their intent is clear. Captain Rogers stepped forward. How many ships? 37, the Vorn answered. More than enough to overwhelm your defenses. Elder Krell glowed with fear. We are doomed. The Vorn turned its faceted eyes toward him. Fear clouds judgment. We did not come to predict your doom. We came to offer opportunity. Lily moved forward. What kind of opportunity? The Vorn gestured, and a holographic image appeared between them, showing strange technology. The Dravak fear us. We have technology that could strengthen your defenses, but we do not give freely. We wish to observe your alliance. Your cooperation interests us. We have Never seen two species work together so completely. Zara looked at Lily, then at the Vorn. What would this observation entail? The Vorn explained they wished to place observers among both luminary and human communities. They would share defensive technology. In exchange for studying how the two species cooperated, Captain Rogers smiled. This is exactly what we need. Elder Krell glowed with suspicion. And what happens when they learn all they wish to know? Then they leave us defenseless again. The lead Vorn turned to him. We do not break agreements. Unlike humans, unlike Luminari, unlike Dravak, we observe, we learn. That is our purpose. After the Vorn departed, the council chamber erupted in debate. Some saw opportunity. Others saw another threat. Captain Rogers argued strongly for accepting the Vorn offer. Elder Krell warned it was a trap. Zara and Lily walked in the palace gardens discussing in private. What do you think? Zara asked. Lily considered carefully. The Vorn are mysterious, but they have no history of aggression. They value knowledge above resources. They might actually be perfect allies for us. Zara nodded. We need their technology. But Elder Krell is right. What happens when they leave? Lily smiled. Maybe we learn enough from them that we can defend ourselves. And maybe they learn something from us too. Something about connection that changes them. The Queen stopped beside a crystal fountain, her glow brightening with decision. When I was alone, I feared change. Now I embrace it. Tell the Vorn we accept. The next day, as Vorn ships moved into orbit alongside human vessels, Queen Zara addressed her people announcing the new alliance. Some watched with hope, others with fear, but all knew that Luminara was changing forever. And at the Queen's side stood Lily, the human who had shown a lonely queen that sometimes the greatest strength comes from reaching out to others. The Vorn integration happened swiftly. Their observers moved among luminary and human communities with quiet curiosity. Their technology was installed around the planet, creating a defensive shield unlike anything either species had seen before. The shield glimmered with a pearlescent glow visible even in daylight, a constant reminder of both protection and change. Queen Zara stood on her balcony watching Vorn engineers work alongside humans and luminari on a new communications tower. The three species so different yet finding ways to cooperate. The metallic Vorn with their faceted eyes, the glowing luminary with their tall, graceful forms, and the smaller, varied humans created a strange harmony. Lily joined her carrying reports. The agricultural output has doubled again, she said. The Vorn soil enrichment techniques work even better than ours. Zara nodded, distracted. Her glow pulsed with unsettled energy. What's troubling you? Lily asked, setting the reports aside. The Queen turned, her luminescent eyes toward her friend. It is too easy. The Vorn give freely, they ask only to observe. They solve problems before we even identify them. What do they truly want? Lily had wondered the same thing. The mysterious species had been present for 2 months now and had transformed Luminara defense systems, agricultural methods, even medical practices. Yet they remained enigmatic. Their observers watched, recorded, but rarely spoke beyond necessity. Perhaps knowledge really is enough for them, Lily suggested. Some human scientists are like that. The pure joy of discovery matters more than practical gain, perhaps Zara said. But Elder Krell whispers that we grow dependent, that when the Vorn leave, we will be weaker, not stronger. Later that day, Zara and Lily met with the lead Vorn observer called Seeker in the Crystal Garden. The metallic being stood motionless beside a flowering plant watching a small insect move from bloom to bloom. You requested audience, Zara said. Seeker turned its faceted eyes reflecting rainbow light. We have detected Dravak movement. Their fleet approaches earlier than predicted. They will arrive in 7 days. Lily felt her stomach tighten. How many ships? 42. Seeker replied. Our shields will hold, but we have observed concerning patterns. The Dravak have adapted their weapons. They learn from defeat. Zara glowed brighter with alarm. We must prepare. The command center became the center of activity as the three species worked together to prepare Vorn engineers, modified the shield. Luminari crystal specialists enhanced weapons systems. Human tactical experts developed battle plans. Captain Diane Rogers worked closely with Luminari fleet commanders. Her previous ambitions seemingly set aside in the face of common threat. Elder Krell watched it all with growing suspicion. His followers grew in number as some Luminari feared the changes happening too quickly. One evening he confronted Zara in the council chamber. "You have given aliens control of our world," he accused, his glow pulsing with anger. "First humans, now Vorn. Soon there will be nothing." Luminari left. Zara remained calm. "The Dravak threat is real. The alliance is necessary." Krell moved closer, his voice low. "Perhaps there is another way. Give the Dravak what they want. Some crystal mountains, some mining rights. Better to lose resources than our identity." Lily, who had been listening from the doorway, stepped forward. "Is that your solution? Elder, sacrifice pieces of your world and hope the Dravak are satisfied." Krell turned, his glow dimming at the sight of the human. "This does not concern you," Zara raised her hand. "This concerns all who call Luminara home, and I have seen what happens when you give the Dravak anything. They take everything." The debate might have continued, but alarms suddenly blared throughout the palace. Nyx rushed in, her glow pulsating with urgency. "Your Majesty, Dravak ships have appeared in the outer system. They do not match previous estimates. There are over 60 vessels, early," Lily gasped. "They came early and stronger," Zara added. She turned to Krell, "Summon the full council. We have no more time for doubt." The next hours passed in tense preparation. Vorn observers moved with new purpose, no longer just watching, but actively. Working fleet commanders gathered human ships, moved into defensive positions. The shield strengthened, glowing brighter against the darkening sky. In the Royal Command Center, Zara stood before a massive holographic display showing the approaching Dravak fleet. Lily at her side. Captain Rogers and Seeker. The Vorn flanked them. Elder Krell and other council members watched from a respectful distance. "They will test the shield first," Captain Rogers predicted. "Then look for weaknesses." Standard Dravak. Tactics. Seeker tilted its head. "The Dravak have changed their approach. Our observations suggest they will target power nodes first, then communications." As if confirming the Vorn's words, the first Dravak ships entered weapons range. Their design had changed since the last encounter. More angular, more armored. The lead vessel fired and a massive energy beam struck the planetary shield. The impact rippled across the defense barrier but held. "They are stronger," Lily noted, watching the energy readings fluctuate. Multiple impacts followed as more Dravak ships fired. The shield trembled but remained intact. Luminari citizens watched the sky with fear as energy blasts illuminated the clouds. For hours the assault continued. The shield weakened in sections, but Vorn engineers rerouted power, strengthening vulnerable areas. Luminari crystal specialists channeled energy through the planetary grid. Human tactical officers coordinated counterstrikes from orbital vessels. In the command center, tensions rose. As reports came in of shield fluctuations, Elder Krell paced, his glow erratic. "We cannot withstand this forever." The Dravak fleet suddenly shifted formation. Seeker pointed to the holographic display. "They adapt. They target the western shield node, where the crystal mountains channel power." Zara studied the display. "That sector has minimal defenses. It was considered naturally protected by the mountain range." The Vorn turned its faceted eyes to the Queen. "We must reinforce that sector immediately. We require crystal focus arrays from the Royal Treasury." Elder Krell stepped forward. "The royal crystals. Those are sacred. They power the Queen's chambers, the historical archives." "There is no choice," Zara said decisively. "Bring the crystals." As Luminari, guards rushed to retrieve the ancient power sources. Lily noticed something strange on the tactical display. The Dravak ships were concentrating fire in patterns, almost as if they knew exactly where to hit, she said suddenly. "They know the shield." Design Captain Rogers frowned. "How is that possible?" Lily looked at Seeker. The Vorn remained motionless, its metallic surface reflecting the emergency lights. The western shield node collapsed under concentrated Dravak fire. Alarms blared through the command center. Reports of ground impacts came from the Crystal Mountain region. We must go there. Zara declared, I will not hide while my world burns. Despite protests from her advisors, the Queen boarded a royal transport. Lily Captain Rogers and Seeker accompanied her along with a contingent of guards. The craft sped toward the western mountains where Dravak landing vessels had already touched down. The sight that greeted them was shocking. Dravak soldiers, tall reptilian beings with armored skin, were not attacking villages or mining crystals. Instead, they moved with purpose toward a specific mountain peak, the same peak where the largest Vorn observation post had been established. Lily turned to Seeker. What is happening? For the first time, the Vorn showed emotion. Its faceted eyes dimmed. The Dravak. They seek something we did not anticipate. This captain. Rogers drew her weapon. Are you working with them? No, Seeker replied. But we have not been truthful either. Queen Zara glowed brightly, with anger. What have you hidden? The Vorn explained rapidly. The mountain contained not just crystals but ancient technology, a crashed Vorn vessel from thousands of years ago. The observers had come not just to study the Alliance but to recover their ancestral technology before the Dravak could find it. You used us, Lily said, anger rising. We protected you. Seeker countered. But yes, our primary mission was recovery. A massive explosion rocked the mountain. Dravak weapons had breached the inner chamber. Seeker moved with sudden urgency. We must stop them. If they acquire Vorn ancestral technology, the balance of power in this sector will collapse. Despite their anger, Zara and Lily knew they had no choice. The threat was real. Whatever the deception, Captain Rogers called for reinforcements as they moved toward the mountain. What the four species didn't know as they converged on the ancient crash site was that the next few hours would change not just Luminara, but the power structure of the entire galactic sector. And Queen Zara, who had once stood alone, would find herself at the center of an alliance more complex and fragile than she had ever imagined. The Crystal Mountain shook with explosive force as Zara, Lily, Captain Rogers, and Seeker made their way up the treacherous path Dravak forces had blasted open an ancient entrance halfway up the peak. Their heavy equipment and soldiers created a dark line against the glittering surface. We must hurry. Seeker said, its metallic form moving with surprising speed across the rocky terrain. The ancestral vault contains technology beyond your understanding. Weapons. Yes, but also much more. Like what? Captain Rogers demanded, keeping pace. Her hand never far from her weapon. Seeker hesitated. The vault contains biological samples from hundreds of extinct species, knowledge gathered across millions of years, and a seed bank. A seed bank, Lily repeated. What kind of seeds? The kind that can transform worlds, Seeker replied. We were different then, more aggressive. We sought to reshape planets to our liking. Queen Zara stopped, her glow pulsing with anger. You brought this danger to my people. There was no time to argue further. A squad of Dravak soldiers appeared on the path above them, their scaled bodies covered in combat armor, their weapons already raised. Captain Rogers reacted first, firing her plasma rifle. The air filled with energy blasts as the group took cover behind crystal formations. Luminary reinforcements were still minutes away. Human ships engaged Dravak vessels in orbit, unable to provide close support. The small group was on their own. Seeker touched a control on its metallic arm, and a shield similar to the planetary defense system formed around them, deflecting Dravak fire. Why did you not use this technology before? Lily shouted over the noise. The Vorn did not reply. Instead, it pointed toward a narrow crevice in the mountain wall. There. An alternate path to the vault. They moved quickly, using the Vorn shield as protection. The crevice opened into a tunnel that glowed with faint blue light similar to Luminari bioluminescence, but older, somehow more primal. The walls were smooth, not natural, but carved with precision millennia ago. As they moved deeper, Zara noticed strange symbols etched into the crystal. These are ancient luminary script. she said, tracing the markings with her glowing fingers. But different, older than any I have seen. Seeker nodded. Your people and mine have history. Queen Zara. The Vorn visited Luminara long before recorded time. We found the luminary primitive, then we shared knowledge, perhaps too much. The tunnel opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling soared hundreds of meters high, supported by crystal columns. The floor was inlaid with metal circuits that still pulsed with energy. After thousands of years, and at the center stood a structure like a temple, its doors already blasted, opened by Dravak forces. Dravak soldiers lay dead near the entrance. Not from weapons, but from something else. Their scaled bodies twisted in unnatural positions, a security measure. Seeker explained. Only Vorn genetics can safely enter the vault. The Dravak learned this too late. But they are persistent. They will send more inside the vault. The air hummed with energy. Pedestals held objects of incredible design. Some glowed. Others seemed to bend light around them. At the center, a massive container like a sarcophagus stood open. Its contents already removed. We are too late. Seeker said, its faceted eyes dimming. The primary seed matrix is gone. A slow clapping sound echoed through the chamber. Elder Krell stepped from behind a column, his luminary glow, pulsing with triumph. How convenient that you led us directly to the prize. Zara stared in shock. Krell, what have you done? The elder smiled, a rare expression for Luminari. His glow shifted to a deep purple. I have secured our future, my queen. He gestured, and Dravak soldiers emerged from hiding places around the chamber, their weapons trained on the group. You allied with the Dravak? Lily said, disbelief in her voice. They tried to destroy your world. Krell shook his head. They tried to access this vault. That is all. They care nothing for our crystals, our people. Only for what the Vorn left behind. And now, thanks to our arrangement, the Luminari will control it. Captain Rogers raised her weapon, but froze as a Dravak pressed a blade to her neck. The Dravak, commander, a massive scaled being with ceremonial scars across its face, stepped forward. The arrangement is concluded. Elder, your assistance is no longer required. Krell's glow faltered. What do you mean? We agreed. The Dravak laughed a harsh sound. You served your purpose, betraying your queen, leading us to the human. The Vorn came for the human, not your queen. Lily stared in confusion. Me? What do I have to do with any of this? Seeker moved forward suddenly, its metallic form shifting, changing. It grew, taller, more imposing. The faceted eyes brightened. You carry the genetic marker, human Lily. Of all your species, only a handful possess it. The marker that allows interface with Vorn technology. That is why we sought alliance. That is why we observed Queen. Zara moved protectively toward Lily. You will not take her, the Dravak commander hissed in amusement. You have no say, Luminari. The human comes with us. The seed matrix requires her genetic code to activate. Captain Rogers, despite the blade at her throat, spoke calmly. So that's the game. The Vorn want Lily to control their tech. The Dravak want the tech itself. And Elder Krell thought he could play both sides. Krell backed away, his glow dimming with fear. This was not our agreement. Commander, the human, was not mentioned. The Dravak gestured dismissively and two soldiers seized Lily. She struggled, but their strength was overwhelming. Zara lunged forward, her bioluminescence flaring like a star. But Dravak weapons trained on her, forcing her back. You cannot win this, Commander, the Dravak said. The seeds will transform a dozen worlds. Remake them in our image. The galaxy will bow to Dravak. Rule Seeker stood motionless. Lily looked at the Vorn, betrayal in her eyes. You knew what they wanted. Why I was important. Why didn't you tell me? The Vorn shifted uncomfortably. We feared you would refuse. We needed you to come willingly to bond with our people, to trust as the Dravak began to drag Lily away. Captain Rogers made her move. Despite the blade, She twisted free, firing her weapon. The chamber erupted in chaos. Energy blasts ricocheted off crystal walls. Luminari guards who had finally caught up poured into the vault in the confusion. Zara reached, Lily pulling her behind a crystal column. You hurt, Lily shook her head, her eyes on the battle. The Dravak were falling back, regrouping. Seeker had engaged the commander, its metallic form, now weaponized, slicing through Dravak armor with ease. Elder Krell cowered behind a pedestal, his betrayal, now exposed. We need to secure the seed matrix, Lily said. Whatever it is, we can't let the Dravak take it, Captain. Rogers joined them, bleeding from a shoulder wound. The matrix is already gone, but maybe not far. She pointed to a Dravak transport visible through the chamber's upper opening. The three women looked at each other, no words needed. They had fought together before. They moved as one. Captain Rogers providing covering fire, Zara using her bioluminescence to blind enemies, Lily racing toward a narrow staircase that led to the surface. They emerged onto a crystal plateau. The Dravak transport sat humming with power. A single guard stood watch. The women split up, approaching from different angles. The guard never stood a chance. Inside the transport they found the seed matrix, a crystalline lattice containing thousands of tiny compartments, each holding a single seed. The device pulsed with energy, responding to Lily's presence. It's beautiful, she whispered, despite everything. And deadly, Seeker said, appearing behind them. The Vorn moved cautiously toward the matrix. This contains the genetic codes for plants that consume worlds, plants that transform atmospheres, soil water into environments hostile to most life forms, but perfect. For Dravak biology, why create such a thing? Zara asked, her glow dimming with horror. The Vorn looked away. We were different then. Conquest was our way. The seeds were to prepare worlds for our colonization. But we evolved. We saw the value in diversity. In balance, we locked the technology away. The Dravak found you out, Lily realized, and I can activate it. Because of some genetic marker, Seeker nodded, a rare sequence in human DNA. Identical to ancient Vorn. One human in millions carries it. You, Lily, the transport rocked. Suddenly, Dravak forces had regrouped. They were attacking. Captain Rogers moved to the controls. This thing has weapons defenses. As she activated the systems, the transport rose from the ground. The seed matrix glowed brighter, responding to Lily's proximity. The Dravak commander could be seen below, roaring orders, his forces firing desperately at the escaping ship. For now they had escaped with the prize. But the battle for Luminara, and perhaps the galaxy itself, was just beginning. The four of them, Queen Zara, Lily, Captain Rogers, and Seeker the Vorn, looked at each other in the transport's cabin, each with different motivations, different histories, yet bound together by circumstance. The seed matrix pulsed between them. A weapon, a tool, a responsibility. And Lily, the human who had come to Luminara seeking friendship, now found herself the key to power beyond imagination. The Dravak transport soared through Luminara's atmosphere. Queen Zara, Lily, Captain Rogers, and Seeker gathered around the pulsing seed matrix in the cargo hold. The crystalline structure responded to Lily's presence, glowing brighter whenever she moved. Closer. We cannot outrun a Dravak fleet, Captain Rogers said from the control panel. The ship systems show multiple vessels in pursuit. Seeker moved to the captain, its metallic form reflecting the glow of the matrix. I can interface with the navigation system, direct us to safety. Rogers hesitated, then stepped aside. The Vorn placed its faceted hands on the control surface. The entire transport hummed with new energy as hidden systems activated. Zara turned to Lily, her bioluminescence muted with concern. Why you? What makes you special to the Vorn? Lily shook her head, still trying to process everything. When humans first began space exploration, we encountered strange artifacts, remnants of ancient civilizations. Most humans could not interact with them, but a few could, those with a specific genetic marker. We thought it was random mutation. Now she looked at Seeker. It seems it was Vorn influence all along. The Vorn tilted its head. The connection is older than you imagine, long before recorded History Vorn explorers visited primitive Earth. Some remained, some bred with early humans. The genetic marker was passed down rare, but persistent. Captain Rogers snorted. So ancient aliens theory was right. After all, more urgent matters pressed on them. The transport shuddered as it accelerated beyond normal capacity. Seeker had activated technology hidden within its systems. Luminara grew smaller below them. Where are we going? Zara demanded. Seeker pointed to a display showing a small moon orbiting. Luminara. The ancestral vault had an outpost there. A place of greater security. We can protect the Matrix there until help arrives. Help from whom? Rogers asked suspiciously. The Vorn did not answer. As they approached the moon, Lily studied the seed matrix. Each tiny seed contained within the crystal lattice glowed with potential life that could transform worlds or destroy them. She thought of Earth, of Luminara, of countless other living planets. What would happen if the Drevak gained control of such power? The transport landed on the moon's surface. No atmosphere, no life. A perfect hidden location. The outpost was built into the rock itself. Ancient doors recognized Seeker's presence and opened silently. Inside they found another vault smaller than the one on Luminara, but still impressive with technology that hummed with life. Despite thousands of years of abandonment, Seeker led them to a central chamber where a pedestal waited perfectly sized for the seed matrix. Place it here. The Vorn instructed. The facility will protect it. Lily carried the matrix, feeling its energy respond to her touch. As she approached the pedestal, the entire chamber lit up. Circuits hidden in the walls. Ceiling and floor activated. Lines of power converged on the pedestal. Something doesn't feel right, she whispered to Zara. The Queen nodded, her glow pulsing with unease. We have followed the Vorn blindly. Perhaps too far. Captain Rogers kept her weapon ready, her eyes never leaving Seeker. What happens after we secure the matrix, she asked. Can we destroy it? The Vorn turned its faceted eyes, reflecting the chamber's light. That would be unwise. The matrix contains more than weapons. It holds the genetic legacy of thousands of extinct species. Knowledge that cannot be replaced. Then, what? Zara demanded. We cannot let it fall into Drevak hands. We cannot risk it being used. Before Seeker could answer, alarms sounded throughout the facility. The Vorn moved quickly to a control panel. The Drevak, they have found us sooner than expected. Four looked at each other. The outpost, despite its age, had defenses, but they were few against a Drevak assault force. If the enemy secured the seed matrix, the consequences would be devastating. We need a plan. Lily said. Captain Rogers checked her weapon and the outpost's sensors. 3 Drevak landing craft 20 minutes out. We can try to hold them off. But Zara interrupted, her glow brightening with decision. No more running. No more hiding. She turned to Seeker. You brought this danger to my world. My people die while we hide with your precious technology. Tell us the truth now. What can the Matrix do besides destruction? The Vorn seemed to consider its options. Its metallic surface rippled with emotion. The Matrix can create as well as destroy. The seeds can transform dead worlds into living ones. They can heal, damage, repair ecosystems, but only if properly controlled. Only with the right genetic key. They all looked at Lily. I need training knowledge. Lily protested. I can't just... There is no... Time Seeker moved to the pedestal where the Matrix now sat. The Drevak approach human. Lily. You must make a choice. Accept the burden of the Matrix or risk it falling into Drevak hands. Queen Zara placed a glowing hand on Lily's shoulder. Whatever you decide, I stand with you. Lily looked at the Matrix, then at her friends. If I do this, what happens to me? Seeker hesitated. You become bonded to the Matrix. Its keeper. Its controller. You gain power but also responsibility. You will understand the technology of a civilization millions of years old. The captain checked the sensors again. 15 minutes. Lily took a deep breath and stepped toward the pedestal. I accept. The Vorn guided her hands to specific points on the crystal lattice. The Matrix responded, immediately glowing brighter than before. Energy flowed between it and Lily, creating a visible connection. Lily gasped as knowledge ancient and vast poured into her mind. She saw worlds transformed, saw the Vorn as they once were, saw the power to create and destroy life on a planetary scale. When the connection stabilized, she stood straighter, her eyes now containing the same faceted quality as Seeker's. "I understand now," she said, her voice resonating differently. Captain Rogers readied the outposts' defenses as Zara watched her friend with concern. "Are you still Lily?" The human smiled, though something had changed in her expression. "I am Lily. And more, I see what the Vorn created. I see how to use it. And how to stop the Dravak." She placed her hands on the matrix again, this time with confidence. The entire facility hummed with power as she accessed systems dormant for millennia. Screens activated, showing the approaching Dravak vessels. "What are you doing?" Seeker asked, alarm in its voice. Lily looked at the Vorn calmly. "Exactly what you hoped I would. I am taking control." Outside the facility on the moon's surface, the ground began to change. Crystal formations emerged, growing at impossible speeds. They spread across the barren landscape, creating a network, a web of crystalline structures that reached toward the stars. The Dravak ships entered the moon's orbit, weapons charged. Captain Rogers watched the tactical display as the enemy prepared to land. But before they could, the crystal formations on the surface activated. Energy surged through them, creating a barrier similar to Luminara's shield, but far more powerful. The Dravak fired their weapons. The energy beams struck the shield and were not just blocked, but absorbed, feeding the growing crystal network. Lily stood connected to the matrix, her mind linked to the ancient systems, her body glowing now with energy, similar to luminary bioluminescence, but with a crystalline quality. "The defense is holding," Captain Rogers reported. "But they keep coming." Lily nodded. "I know." She turned to Zara. "We need to end this. Not just defend." The Queen moved closer. "What do you need? A connection to Luminara?" Lily replied. "To your crystal network. Your people. I can extend this shield, protect your world permanently, but I need a conduit." Without hesitation, Zara took Lily's hand. The Queen's bioluminescence merged with Lily's new energy, creating a circuit. Energy flowed between them, between the matrix, the outpost, and distant Luminara. On the planet below, Luminary, citizens watched in awe as crystal formations began to grow from the ground, similar to the ones on the moon, a network spreading across the world connecting to the ancient Vorn technology. The planetary shield strengthened, became something new, something neither fully Vorn nor fully Luminary, but a merger of both technologies. The Dravak continued their assault, now targeting Luminara again, but their weapons found no weakness in the new shield. Instead, each blast strengthened it, feeding the growing network in the outpost. Seeker watched with fascination. "You have exceeded our expectations. Human Lily. You have merged technologies in ways we never imagined." Lily smiled, though the strain showed on her face. "This is what humans do. We connect, we adapt, we find solutions others miss. The Matrix was never meant to be used alone, it was meant to be shared." Captain Rogers checked the sensors again. "The Dravak fleet, they're pulling back." Lily nodded, still connected to the Matrix through Zara. No, they cannot win. Not against this, nor with it." She turned to Seeker. "You knew this might happen, didn't you? That a human with the marker might find a third path, neither conquest nor preservation, but transformation." The Vorn lowered its faceted eyes. "We hoped, we observed humans for centuries, watching your capacity for connection, for empathy, qualities my ancestors lacked. We waited for one with the marker to reach the stars." Zara looked between them, her glow pulsing with new understanding. "So this alliance was planned." "From the beginning." "Not entirely," Seeker replied. "We did not anticipate the Dravak discovering our plans. We did not foresee Elder Krell's betrayal. But yes, we sought the human, the Queen, the connection between your worlds as." The Dravak fleet retreated from the Luminara system. Lily finally released her connection to the Matrix. Her eyes returned to normal, though flecks of crystal remained visible in her iris. The bond with the Matrix permanent, now, but controlled.